We welcome to the program now the Distinguished Professor of Law and the Jamie L. Whitten Chair of Law and Government, Distinguished Professor Ron Rychlak. Good to see you again, Professor.
Hey, Gerard. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Just want to start off by thanking you for allowing me to come up and present to the gaming law class yesterday. I was quite impressed with the students, their engagement, their knowledge, their interaction. The questions were great. Good group. I think you guys are going to make some good lawyers up there out of those folks.
Well, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you coming up and sharing your knowledge about the Mississippi Lottery. We have some really good students, and it's a fascinating area of law. People always kind of think, really, you teach about gambling law, but if you think about it, it's a highly regulated industry, one of the most important in our state, and there's fascinating law and history throughout the existence of mankind, basically, because gambling goes back to our earliest recorded history.
Yeah, incredible. And you've got such a rich history and understanding of gaming from a legal perspective, and that's why you have been appointed as a member of a state committee which is studying the prospect of legalizing mobile online sports betting in the state of Mississippi. Help us understand first, Professor, what is available now? We do have some limited form of mobile sports betting now. Tell us about that.
Well, the Supreme Court made it possible for states to other than Nevada, to legalize sports betting in 2018, and Mississippi casinos were able to start accepting bets at that time. But if you are aware of other states around us, a lot of them, Tennessee, for instance, you can bet on your phone, so it's an app-based thing, and casinos run them, and some independent things like FanDuel and DraftKings run them, and there are bets throughout the game. We don't have that statewide right now. If you're on the grounds of a casino, you can have that kind of betting in Mississippi, but there's a lot of demand for requests for, and there's a lot of concern about as well. Taking it to the level that we have in so many other states, where you can bet on your phone, and if we're going to do that, we're going to try and do that right. I know you talked about the Mississippi Lottery. We have experience of watching a lot of states that went ahead of us. I think we're going to try and take advantage of seeing the states that went ahead of us and avoid some of the pitfalls that they've gone into.
Yeah, so presently, mobile electronic sports betting is available, but only if the person placing the bets is on casino property. That's what we allow today. But what you guys are looking at is the possibility of extending that and allowing someone to place a bet on a mobile basis from anywhere, correct?
That's right. And, that's people who like to gamble on football and such, I think would like that. A lot of them. On the other hand, there's a lot of concern about that, and there are risks associated with that. This allows for prop betting. This allows for betting while the game is in play, and that can be dangerous.
While it's in play, okay, yeah, because sometimes you'll even be presented right with options like, what are the odds? Or are you wanting to place a bet? You could place a bet, for example, on a field goal being made versus being missed, or a touchdown being scored at a certain point during the game. Isn't that correct?
That is correct. Will the team make a first down here? Will they score on this drive? How many passes will a particular receiver catch? That would be more of a game-long thing, but you could bet, what will they do in the third quarter? And so there's a lot of ongoing stuff. And even I didn't really, I'm kind of surprised I hadn't thought about it, but if you bet on the game and it looks like your team's going to win or lose, you can actually cash in your bet before the game's over, based upon the odds that exist at that moment in the game. So there's a lot of options, but with options come risk to problem gamblers, and we all know that exists.
So tell us about that then, Professor. What do you deem as the risks should this be legalized in Mississippi? What do we need to be on the lookout for?
Well, as we've seen across states, problem gambling does go up as sports gambling evolves, and especially as app-based sports betting takes place. We've seen a
Yeah,
lot more calls to, 1-800 gamble, those kind of programs, and we've seen probably one of the things I guess that we're concerned about here is it's young men age 21 to 30 or so. I mean, a lot of college age men in particular who follow sports, are very into sports, want to feel like they're supporting their team, um, even though betting really isn't about supporting your team.
yeah,
It's not that at all. But they get caught up in things, and I mean, 40 years ago, I knew a guy who had a gambling problem while I was in law school. And today the risks are just better. There's going to be more stuff there and more risk associated. So as the legislature of Mississippi looks at this and decides whether to do it, because it's not a foregone conclusion that they will do it,
sure,
but
sure.
as they position things, can we can we take actions? Can we limit things? Can we put things in such a way that it will minimize the risks?
Yeah. And of course, I think we could expect there would be some objection on the part of the casinos, correct, who are currently benefiting from the fact that if one wants to one wants to engage in sports betting, they need to go to a casino and do that, and typically they're going to spend money on other things while they're there as well.
Well, absolutely. And it's interesting. There's some casinos who think that they can use this effectively to draw business into the casino. There are others who feel like, hey, we've put up infrastructure, we've built a hotel, we've created a lot of jobs, and now you're going to have an internet company come in and take away all our business, and that's very unfair. And so
Yeah.
there's a divide among casinos.
So tell us about this committee that you're on. Who formed this committee, and who appointed members to it?
Well, it's a legislative committee from the two state houses um, uh, put it together. I was contacted by Delbert Hosemann, the lieutenant
Okay.
governor, and he asked me if I'd be willing to serve. And then that was passed on to the legislature, I guess, where my official letter came from. David
Okay.
Blunt is, I think, who I got the letter from, and who, by the way, also he zoomed with my class and did a great job talking about the legislative side of this whole matter. And
Okay.
so we've yeah so there's a good mix of people. I think I was put on. In fact, I saw Delbert the other day and at the football game, and he said he put me on because I don't really have an agenda. I'm not coming from an angle, and I'm really not. I mean, my angle would be to try to make sure that our students and our student athletes, because I am the faculty athletic chair of our athletics committee, so I'm very concerned
Right.
about the impact that gambling can have on college athletics. And so, but I don't really have an agenda to get it or to get rid of it either way.
Understand, and we should point out for our audience, Senator David Blunt's been on this program many times from the South Jackson area, a Democrat, and serves as the chairman of the gaming committee in the state Senate. And that's why, obviously, he's involved in this. So do you have a sense, Professor, on kind of where the legislature is leaning on this? Have you heard anything? They're for it, they're against it, they're not sure?
Well, what I think has been openly stated at the first task force committee meeting that I attended, uh, is that they expect there to be a bill that will come out. And
Okay.
whether it will pass or not, I have no particular clue about. And there are strong uh, uh, supporters and strong objectors.
Yeah.
So I'm not a politician. I'm a professor.
It's a controversial issue, and you would expect that you would kind of break down like that, folks that have strong opinions on both sides of this matter. On the other hand, my gut feel is that the casinos who are presently operating in the state and doing a lot of good for the state's economy have a strong lobby that are going to come out against this, obviously. So it just depends. I know a lot of citizens, on the other hand, that would like to see this happen.
Well, gambling in general is such an interesting topic because it doesn't fall neatly between liberal, conservative, Democrat, Republican, however you
Yeah.
want to do it. there are objections on both sides, and there are reasons to support. I remember years ago there was a hearing down in Biloxi about whether to expand, and just within the Catholic Church, the bishop was against it. The Catholic Social Service Group was in favor of it because it created jobs at a entry level.
I get it. Professor, really appreciate you coming on and explaining this to us. I'm sure we'll be covering this a bit more as well, and look forward to seeing you again. Appreciate you having me up yesterday. Really enjoyed that. Thanks.
Well, yeah, thank you so much for that. And anytime I can return the favor, please don't hesitate.
Yes, sir. Thank you. We're coming right back with more from the Element Wealth Studio.